Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see about Java variables. For the people who already worked in any Java programming, right? So they already aware what is variables. But for the people who are new to Java programming, right? Or any new programming, so you should understand variables first. So what is variables? In programming, right? In any programming, variable is a named storage location in memory that holds a value which can be changed during program execution. Think of it like a labeled box as a variable name. So you can store anything inside that labeled box, right? So and you can get it from that box whenever you need it. So similarly, variables are labeled box that can store different things, which means that is value like number, text, or any complex object into that variable. So variables are fundamental for storing and manipulating data in any programming. Basically, you can understand variables are container for storing values or data. Types of variables. In Java, right, there are different types of variable. For example, I have listed few of the important variable types here, but there are many more as well, but that we will see it later. Like the first one, right, string variable. So string variable is used to store text such as hello, like a word, any words that can be stored inside the string variable. The value should be mentioned with the double quotes. That's why here the hello is mentioned with double quotes. Similarly, the next variable type is int. Int variable can store integers, that is whole number, that is without any decimal value. The number without any decimal value we say as a whole number or integer, right? So that can be stored inside the integer variable. Then float variable. Float variable is used to store decimal value. Then next one is char variable. Char variable is used to store single character, any single alphabet or any other single character. That the value should be mentioned with single quotes. I'll tell you how to do that in the code once the theoretical part is over. So boolean. The next one is boolean variable. So which is used to store true or false. So coming to syntax, that is how to declare or create a variables in Java. The syntax is very simple. So syntax is type. First, we need to tell the type of the variable, then the variable name, then equal to value. So the value is optional one. So if you want to assign a value while declaring the variable, you can use equal to operator and assign the value. Otherwise, type and variable name is used to declare a variable. The value one is optional. So here the syntax is type variable name equal to value. This is the syntax. So type basically to tell what type of variable it is, like int variable or string variable, to tell which type of variable it is. Then the variable name. The variable name can be anything, but there are some rules to define a variable name. The example like x is you can use it as a variable name. Age you can declare as a variable name, or any name as can be used as a variable name. But there are certain rules to define a variable name that we will see later in this video. Then value is an optional parameter. If you want to assign a value to a variable, you can use equal operator and assign a value. So example, variable example. So here if you want to create a variable called name is the variable name of type string variable, and assign a value as Peter. Peter is a string, right? It's a word, so that should be defined as a the double quotes. So the string, the type is a string, so we are adding as a string. Then name is a variable name. Then assigning value using equal operator, and Peter is the value assigned to the variable name. So we are clear. Let's go into practical and show you in the editor itself. For the mainframe people, uh, This is only for mainframe people. Okay. So what is variable in Java or in sorry in COBOL, right? How do we declare the variable? Like first we declare the level, right? What level it is, 01 or 02. Then variable name, right? What we declare variable name, something like usually we declare over for workspace WAS something name. Then the picture class of what type? X or A, or if it is numeric, then 9, right? Here we declare as alphabet, so I'll declare A, and the length, like X of, sorry, 10, A of 10. That's how we declare, right? Similarly, in Java, we will see now in Java. So basically, this is the syntax. We are so basically similar to COBOL declaration of variable. Now we are going to see about in Java, how to declare a variable in Java. Okay, let me close this file and create a new Java file. I'll keep the name as Java variables. I select as class and just enter. So new class file Java variable is Java class file is created. So we created a class file with the name Java variable, Java class file with the Java variables. So let me add the main method. Yes, tab. So we added the main method. Okay, maybe you people not know, right? So there is a shortcut to add a main method inside the class. Just type psvm. So once you entered psvm, just press tab button. So the IntelliJ will help you to add the main method. You don't need to type public static void main anything. So PSVM, just press tab. So the main method will automatically add into your class file. Okay. Now we will see out. Just now we saw how to declare a variable string, right? Name, like I will show you. So I'm going to declare a string variable. So if you want to, the syntax, do you remember the syntax? The syntax is first you need to tell what type of variable it is. So I'm going to declare string variable. So string is the type of variable. So string, I entered string, then variable name. I'll keep variable name as something like um, first name. Okay, name, first name. Then assigning value to the first name is the syntax is equal operator. Then string should be mentioned within the double quote. Do you remember I told you double quotes? So that's why I added double quotes. Within that, I am going to add the value. So first name is Peter. So this is the syntax for declaring a first name as a string variable and assigning a value Peter to it. So this is how you need to declare a variable. Hope you're clear now, right? So that's why I explained you theoretical part first. Then I came here to simplify or making you to understand easily. So that's how you declare or define a variable in Java. Also, you can assign a value to it. Hope you guys clear, right? In the theoretical part, right? So we saw different types of variable, right? I will show you everything. You will see everything now. So we completed string variable. Let's see before going into that. So this is type, right? What type of variable it is. So I told you there are many types available in Java. I showed you only few of them. So that we will see deeper in separate video. As of now, we will see consider these types and I'll show you the example. Then the second is variable name. So this is you are clear. So that can be anything, but there are some rules to define the variable name that we will see in this video itself. Then equal is a operator is used to assign a value to the first name variable. So this is simply a value. Since it is a string value, so we marked it with inside the double quotes. So let's see the other variable type, like int, right? Int. Do you remember the int is used to store whole number? So int is a type of variable. Then variable name is first. Sorry, number. We'll keep the as number. Then I'll assign some value like 19. See, that's how you declare a int variable number and assigning a value to it. Even if you don't assign a value to this, it will work. But I'll show you by adding a sysout parameter and display, and we will see the in this output console or screen. As of now, I'll just assign a value 19. Then we saw char, right? So char, and we'll keep the variable name as single character and assign a value. Yes. So do you remember the character value should be mentioned with single quotes? That's why I added single quotes. And for int, right, I did not add anything. I'll just keep it simply 19, the value only. But for the string, I mentioned with double quotes. So this is the syntax. So you should remember this. Then we saw float, right? Float is for decimal value, to store decimal value. So I'll just keep the name as decimal value plus assign a value something 19.0 float. You need to mention f at the end of value to tell it's a decimal value to the system. So float, right? It's a decimal value. So you need to add f. So we saw string, int, char, and float, and I think one more we are missing here is yes, the Boolean type. The last one is Boolean. So this store only true and false. So we'll just say keep the name as something gender, not gender. Uh, Boolean. I keep the name as something like manager. So maybe is manager. Keep it as is manager and assign a value true. So that's how we declare a variable in Java. So in this example, I showed you string variable, int variable, char variable, float variable, and boolean. So hope you guys clear how to declare a variable. But we will see more deeper about this type, right? So I told you there are different types are available in Java. So far we saw only these five. I will planning to create a separate video to explain you the different types of uh, variables or data types available in Java. So far you are clear, right? That's how we declare. Now we will see by displaying this into the output screen. Like, do you remember the sort statement is used to display the into output screen? Let me add one by one. This one is for this first one to display the first name into the output. So just clicking the name, I'll just copy this and paste it below for all the data, all variables. So the second one is number, right? So I'll keep this as number, then single character, then for decimal value, then for is manager, Boolean variable. Yeah, I'm done with the changes. Now let me execute this and I'll show you the output. So it's executing. You can see at the end the output. Let's see the output. See, the first sysout statement prints first name as Peter. Oh, okay, so I did not add spaces, right? That's why the output did not have spaces between the between this first name and the value. And the value, let me, this is output value, right? So I'll just add a space at the end of each output value. Okay, now let me rerun this. See, now we got the output though. So the first name variable displayed the output as Peter. Then the number, integer number, so int number variable displayed the whole number as 19. So then this third sysout for single character, right? For char variable displayed yes. So that's what we assigned. So decimal value 19.0. So see, the f is not present in the output. Since while declaring only, we have to mention f to tell this is the decimal value. Then the last one is Boolean variable is manager. So is manager displayed true. Okay, you are clear now how to declare a variable, right? So I will show you one more thing. I'll remove all the value from the variable. Let's see what we are getting in the output. You may be wondering, right? What is the output? See here, what is saying? We are getting error. What it means? The IntelliJ telling that this variable does not have any value, so it should be initialized. Initialized meaning it should be assigned some value before, if you want to display into the output. It does not have any value, but you are trying to display that right in the output screen. So the IntelliJ is saying that it is not initialized. So that's why you are getting error. So even if you run right, it will throw you error. Let's see. See, we are getting error. The variable first name not have been initialized. Variable number might not have been initialized. So if you want to display or if you want to see the value inside the variable, it should be defined with any value. So that you can see it in the output screen. Let me undo the changes. So far you are clear, right? If you are having any confusion, you just ask me in the comment section. I will uh, respond to your queries. So we have seen how to declare a variable, right, for the different variable type. Now go and see other thing related to variables. So declaring multiple variables. So as I showed you in the right int, if you want to declare multiple variable like int x, int y, int z, and assigning a value of different value, right, in 3 line, instead of doing this in 3 line, you can make it like in a single line, like int x equal to 3. Basically you can add a comma between the each variable and you can declare it in a single line, right? So that's what I showed you in this example. So int x of 3, int y of y equal to 7, then int z is equal to 20, right? This 3 line can be modified or declared in a single line itself by simply adding comma between each variable. So now that's how we declare multiple variables in a single line. Please note that these three variable, right, are belongs to same variable type, meaning that these three variable, right, x, y, z, three of them are int type. So you can combine them into a single line. But if it is different variable type, right, like if it is one is in int, another one is float, you cannot combine that in a single line. If all the variable are same type, then only you can convert that into a single line. So just remember this. Hope you clear, right? Maybe I will show you an example as well. So if you see here, there are 5 variables, right, which we declared in three different line. Sorry, 5 different line, right? So we declared in 5 lines. But since these are different data type, we declared in different line instead of single line. But if, for example, I'll delete this, right, for your better understanding. Maybe let's consider this int variable. So if you want to declare three variable, right, int of a, or like any number one, and assigning a value 10, then int of number two. This is variable name, right? So I'll just, for example, I declaring as number one and number two and number three. So in real time it should be some meaningful name, int of number 3 and assigning a value 30. So instead of declaring in 3 line, right, you can simply, let me add a sysort as well. So let me add sysort number 1. It should be hard coded value should be in double quotes, then number. Similarly, for I will add 3 different sort for each number. So number 2, and for this one number 3. So I just declared 3 int variable or integer variable, number 1, number 2, number 3, and assigning a value and displaying those variable in the output screen. Let's execute and see the output first. So the program completed successfully and we got the output. Oh, I forgot to add a space for better readability. I'll add keep hyphen as well. Let me rerun again this. So we got the right three output. Number one. Oh, I kept number one. Sorry for that. I'll change it to, and this is for 3. Let me rerun. So the program completed successfully and we got the output. So the number one has 10 value, the number 2 variable has 15, and the number 3 variable is 30. See that I declared in 3 lines. Instead of declaring in 3 line, we simply keep it in same line. Instead of declaring in 3 different line, we can keep it in single line. So I'll just remove this, right? As I mentioned before, we'll just add a comma between each variable. That's it. At the end, we'll add semicolon. So these 3 variable, right, are int type. That's why I declared in single line. So number one, I'm assigning a value 10, then number 2 has 15, then number 3 variable has 30. So all these values are int type, right? So we can declare in single line. Now let's see, let's run this program and see whether we are getting the same output as before. Let me run this. The program completed successfully. Now see the same output we got. So that's how we declare same variable type in a single line. Now we will see same value, how to assign a same value to multiple variable. Like if you want to assign a same value, right, for to the multiple variable, right? For example, int x equal to 44, int y equal to 44, int z is equal to 44. If you see all these 3 variable x, y, z int variables as having the value 44. So instead of declaring in 3 line, right? Instead of coding it in 3 line, we can make it in simpler way, like for maybe we can say is more readable, right? Like this. The right side I mentioning, right? Int x comma y comma z. So yeah, this is the declaring part. So we are declaring 3 variables as an int type. So int x, y, z. So this is the syntax. Then we are assigning a value. Instead of declaring one by one, you can declare it in single line. X equal to y equal to z equal to 44. So that the 44 value will be assigned to z, y, x. So x, y, z. So now we'll see this in practical. So let's see now um, same value, right? How to declare a same value for multiple variable. Like for example, I'll change it like I'll delete everything this and declares int number one equal to 10, then int number two equal to 20, then int number three equal to, oh, this example is for right assigning same value, right? So 10 and 10. So I'm declaring three number variable, int number variable, number one, number two, number 10, assigning same value to it. Now we'll add a sys out for each variable. Hope you guys clear, right? That's why I explain you each and everything very slowly, so that since you will get clear picture about everything. So I'll just change it number two, number three, this one as well, two and three. Okay, now we will see how to assign a same value to multiple variables. So currently I have declared int number one as value 10, then int number two value as 10, and then int number three and value as 10. So all this variable, right? Number one, number two, number three has same value 10, and I'll let me execute this. So we got the output number one as 10, and then number two also 10, number three also 10. So I'll make this three line in different way. Number one, let me declare first with three variable, number, then number two, then number three. So I declared three variable, number one, number two, number three. Then I am assigning same value. Since I am assigning same value, I can do it like this. Like you can do it like this as well, like number one, then number two, 10, then number three equal to 10. This way also you can do, but to simplify this, instead of doing it in three different line, we'll simply add it here itself. Number two equal to number three. So this way also you can do. Number one equal to number two, equal to number three, and equal to 10. So the 10 value will be assigned to number one, number two, and number three, all these variables. Let me execute this and we will see the output. So the expected output is 10 for all the variables. So the program executed and we got the output. We got the expected output. See, all this variable is displayed with same value 10, 10, 10. So hope you clear, right? So this is good way of coding. So that's why I explained you in deep clearly. So so far we have seen the uh, Java variables, right? How to declare a Java variables and how to assign a value to it, and see that in practical. So far we have seen that in the practical. Now we will go into more deeper into this, like Java identifier. So you may be wondering what is identifier. Basically, a Java variable name. So yeah, in Java variable name is also called it as identifiers. So all Java variables must be identified with unique name. So you cannot declare multiple variable name, right? Multiple variable name with like you can declare multiple variable name, but it should be unique. That's what the statement says. So the unique names are called identifier. Also call it as variable name. No confused with identifier and variable name. Basically, it's a variable name. We can also call it as identifiers. So hereafter, I will tell you only the variables, but it is also called as identifiers. So the variable names can be short name like X or Y single character, but it is good to have some descriptive names like age, sum, total value. For example, if you declare int total mark equal to 417, it's a good variable name because the total marks has some meanings. But if, for example, if you're declaring m int of m equal to 417, that is bad variable name because the m is a single character, it does not have any meaning. So rules for declaring variable name. There is a rule which is defined in a Java to declare a variable name. So the names can contain letter, digit, underscore, and dollar sign. So the name can be declared with letter, digit, I assume maybe like a combination of letter, digit, underscore, and dollar sign. Name must begin with a letter. Name should start with a lowercase and cannot contain white spaces. Name can also begin with dollar and underscore. Names are case sensitive. So Java is always case sensitive. So here also the naming variable name also be considered as case sensitive. So you should be very careful while declaring a variable name. For example, if you are declaring my name, right, with capital N and my name with small n, both are different. So you should be very clear. Okay. And the final rule is reserved words. You should not use any reserved Java keywords like int, boolean. We will see more keyword, right? I'll go through this tutorial. So the reserved keywords cannot be used as a variable name. So these are the five or six naming rules for variable. Examples for invalid identifier or variable Java variable name. So the first example, right? We declared int 2nd number equal to 55. So the rule says the variable name should not start with number, right? So here we declared as 2 in the beginning, so this is invalid. The second example is int myvar, right, equal to 10. You may be thinking why it is invalid, because the variable name myvar contains space. So the rule says the variable name should not have spaces in between. So this is also invalid. The third one, int equal to 20. Hope you got it right. So the int is a reserved keyword, so you cannot use that in variable name. So this one also invalid. So I just showed you few example for your better understanding what is invalid variable name. Hope you guys clear, right, about for the rule for the Java variable rules. Once you started practicing, right, you will remember all these rules. So before going into final variable, right? So far we have seen how to declare a variable and assign a value to it, and also we have seen the rules for declaring or defining a variable name. Also we have seen few example in practical as well. So and the data type, right? So I'm like uh, the type, right? The type I am planning to create a separate video for the type alone. There are, as so far we have seen only few type, right? Like int, float, char, string, and boolean. So we have seen this five type, right, in the variable. I am planning to create a separate value, especially for the type. We call it as data type. In Java, we call it as data type. There are different data types available in Java that I will separately explain you in a different video. So far we are clear, right? In case if you have any confusion or questions, please raise it, ask me in the comment section. I will explain you in clearly. So now we are in, I think this is the last topic in this tutorial. So what is final variable? Basically, if you don't to modify the variable value, or if you don't want others to modify your variable, right, you can use final keyword. Make a sense, or I am confused you? So basically constant variable. For the people who are already worked in any programming, final variable is used to for declaring a constant variable, so that during the program execution or anywhere in the program, the value cannot be modified. So final int new num, right? So this is the syntax. Basically, we add a final keyword at the beginning of variable declaring syntax. So this is the type int and this is the variable name new number and equal to 22. That's what we are usually declare, right? Declare a variable and assign a value to it. But if you want to consider this new number variable as a constant value, you just add a final keyword at the beginning, so that the program, if you try to assign a value new number equal to 15, the system will generate an error saying that cannot assign a value to a final variable. Hope you guys clear, right? What is final or final variable? When to use final variable? So as I mentioned before, right? You should declare variable as final when their value should never change. Basically, a constant variable or value. For example, total mark for all subject. So I'm declaring final in total mark, right, equal to 50. So why, maybe you may be thinking why I declared in capital letter. So that's how we typically type type the code for, like, it's a coding practice we are doing. Like, there is a standard rule, but it's a coding practice, a good coding practice. So constant variable always declared with capital letter. That's why I declared here total marks as marks in capital letter, total marks. So just take a note. It's a good to when you start practicing or when you code in real project, right? That's how they follow. So the constant variable always they keep it in the capital letter. Let me see example for final, right? I'll remove all this thing. I'll just declare number. Maybe I'll say it as total mark equal to 500. Let me add a sysout to display the total mark. If I execute this, as you already know, right? We got the output. We get the output 500. So if you want to make this variable as constant and others do not want to make the changes to this variable or in the program, so I'll just add final. See, I just added final and be executing this program. As expected, we got 500. If I try to assign a different value to this variable, like total mark equal to something 60 or 600, see, we got error. The IntelliJ says that cannot assign a value to final variable. As I mentioned before, do you remember, guys? So this, since this total variable as declared as final variable, we cannot update the value inside it. So this is, now you guys clear, right? It's constant variable, so we cannot change this during the inside the program logic, inside the program logic. So, and do you remember, guys? How to declare how to define a variable name? The final variable or constant variable always declared with capital letter. That's a good coding practice. So I'll keep it total marks. So that's how you have to declare. Let me execute this. So we got 500. So hope you guys clear about how to declare a variable and assign a value to it. Also, we have seen final keyword. So I am going to end this video here. If you have any question or clarification, right, please ask me in comment section. As usual, at the end of every video, I have a session to test your understanding. So there are 3 questions I added at this for this video. So the first question is, create a variable named age and assign the value 35. I repeat the question again. Create a variable named age and assign the value 35. The second question is, create a variable named first name and assign the value Ronaldo. Similarly, the third question is variable name dollar best student is valid, true or false. So answer for write your answer for these three questions in the comment section. I will check and correct you if it is wrong. Thank you. Have a good day.